Hello and welcome to another edition of the Paul's Body Engineering Podcast. Another episode for 2026. I hope your 2026 is starting off with a bang and you're actually achieving some amazing goals. We are only days away from hitting March. Can you believe? We're 3/4 away through February. The year is flying by. So I do hope, honestly and genuinely, that your goals are being met. All right, so today's topic, I wanted to talk about something that every single human being on this planet has the ability to do. And often we rely heavily on excuses, motivation or lack thereof, and other reasons not to be able to do certain things. And this concept, this methodology that I like to use is, it can be applied to anything. And we currently do it. Many people currently do it. And what I refer to it as the switch. We've all got this internal switch, right? And I'm going to explain or detail a couple of examples that I use with clients to help them manage their days. One being how to switch off at the end of the day, and the other one being how to switch on when it comes to training. Now, you've all heard the term, flick that switch and get into beast mode and, turn it on and, lock in and all these things. And it's effectively the same thing. It's basically your brain's ability to go, right, it's game time, it's on, let's go. And a lot of that is applied with sport. A lot of that is applied to training. Think about the men's 100-metre final at the Olympics. They get on the blocks. They wait for the gun. And in that instant, they've got to turn everything on they can to generate as much force and as much power and as much acceleration as they can out of those blocks to give themselves every opportunity to do well. Do you think they are motivated? Yeah, absolutely. What if they're not? Well, too bad. They're in the Olympic final. It doesn't matter. Motivation is such a cop-out. It is such a cop-out. I'm not motivated, so I won't go to the gym. Dude, do you want to be healthy or not? It's as simple as that. These are the crossroads that we face every day, and often people it's laziness. That's exactly what it is. I'm tired. I'm not going to go to the gym. Too friggin' bad. Get your ass to the gym. Otherwise, be fat, be lazy, be uncomfortable, feel weak, feel tired. Get used to those feelings because they're going to be stuck with you a lot longer. Now, the switch internally is something that you can turn on, and it can be recognized as a symbol, and this is what I like to talk about. So for me, it's putting myself through the front doors of the gym. As soon as I walk through the front doors of the gym, I'm acknowledged by the staff at reception. I'm into the gym floor, and that is my signal, my symbolism, my ability to turn on. And basically what I mean by turn on is get ready for a fucking good session, right? Turn it on. Now, granted, I might have a rubbish session, but at least my mind is ready to go. My mind is on. My mind is ready to rock and roll, to push some weight and get uncomfortable. Because if you're not, if you go in and you just lackluster and then you get distracted and you're thinking about work or you're thinking about other stuff, well, guess what? Your session's going to be mediocre at best, right? But if you have the ability to flick that switch, turn on, primal focus on the task at hand. Nothing is going to distract you. You're like a horse in the Melbourne Cup. You've got the blinkers on, you're coming down the straight, you've got 300 metres to go, nothing's going to stop you, okay? No distraction, no outside noise, no yelling and screaming from the crowd. You are locked in. That is how your gym training session should be. But plenty of people do not think of it like that. They feel it's a task. They drive up to the gym, they walk through the front door, they get to their first piece of equipment, and straight away, they're on the back foot. Their mindset is not ready. Their mental preparation is not ready. Therefore, they're going to have an average session at best because they've already set themselves up for failure. And that's the shadow of the fact. But you have the power. You have the ability to change that. You have the ability to have the most amazing, powerful training sessions that you can possibly have every single time you walk into the gym. But you've got to make that happen. Now, in order to flick this switch, and it's a hypothetical, right? Or it's a symbol, if you will. In order to make that work for you, you've got to have that moment. So, is it like a lot of people will do this? Is it driving to the gym with loud, angry music in the car, blasting out and sort of amping you up? Is it reflection? Like, do you drive to the gym or do you walk into the gym and you're reflecting on a moment in time that inspired you, that it got excited, that motivated you? Like, I was so motivated when I watched recently Scotty James do the half pipe at the Winter Olympics. I got up early to watch him live, and it was so inspirational. I wanted to learn how to do that straight away. That's how motivated I was, even though I'm 47 years old and I'd probably break my hip at one attempt. The point is, it really inspired me. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that as a symbol and go, you know what? He can do that. He's 6 meters elevation above the pipe in the air, spinning around, doing his thing. I can turn up to the gym and rip in. At the end of the day, my goal, it may not be the Olympics, but my goal is optimal health. My goal is to be fit, is to be strong, is to be healthy, is to represent my family in the best possible way, is to be a grandparent that can run around and pick their kids up. That is my goal. And I'll be damned if anything's going to stop me from achieving that goal. I see so many people relying on NDIS at the moment, so many people relying on other people to help them get around, be mobile. Like my parents, God love them. They're really breaking down. Their physical ability is starting to deteriorate, and it's because they've got no strength. Their bones are brittle, their joints are weak, their muscles are frail, all because they haven't taken action now. Now you can do that by simply switching on every single time you set foot in that gym. It is a powerful tool that you can utilize to your advantage and get the job done. Put yourself in the shop window every single time and really powerfully turn up to improve your health, turn up to get stronger, turn up to get fitter, turn up to put muscle on. Why not? Why shouldn't you? Why can't you? What is stopping you? These are all questions you need to ask yourself, because I don't have the answers, but I can help. If you want a coach, please reach out. Now, the other example I was going to use is often if you're in a job that is highly stressful, it takes up a lot of your time, you might work big days, long hours, it's hard to switch off from. And you can see where I'm going here. This method can really help you switch off so that you don't take work home with you. If you've got a complete separation where you don't have to work at home, unfortunately I'm in the position where I do some work from home, so this is harder for me. But if you physically go to work, that's your place of work, and then you physically come home, and then you don't have to work until the next day when you go back to work again. But you're having trouble switching off. Therefore, it's impacting your sleep. It's giving you heightened stress at home. That emotion, that irritability, that anger, that frustration is carrying over to your family. They're feeling that. You're not sleeping properly. Maybe you're eating poorly because of that. You're trying to suppress your emotions with alcohol or food choices. You can change that by simply learning how to switch off. Now, it's easier said than done, yes. So what I learned a while ago from a former boss of mine when I was working in construction was his symbol for him to switch off in the evening, because I was having trouble. Like, I was really struggling to switch off. I was taking home a lot of stress. I was hating going to work on a Monday because I didn't know what I was walking into. So his symbolism of him switching off for the day, for the night, was as soon as he walked through the front door of his house and he put his briefcase down. Yes, he was old and he had a briefcase. He put his briefcase on the floor and let go. That was his moment to go, right, I'm not thinking about work now until I pick that briefcase back up again. So that was his switch off, and then in the next morning he'd pick it up and then he'd switch on again. So that was the switch I was referring to. So if you want to implement that same strategy, you can do it. Like for me, I started utilising the drive home. So I had about a 20-minute drive home back then, and I'd listen to music, I'd listen to sport, I'd listen to radio, whatever, and that was my opportunity to down tools, unwind, and get home and be present for my family. It is a lot harder these days because obviously I work from home, and being a trainer and a coach with international clients, you kind of awake all hours of the evening and the night. But I have different methods of managing it where I switch off, whether it's gardening or movies, go to the beach, whatever. But in this instance, for most people, if we talk about a larger population, most people sort of have a fixed hours of work where they go to work, they come home from work. And the ability to switch off is something that is really hard to do. So you need to find a symbol. What does that symbol represent? What does it look like? Is it the drive home? Is it getting into the car? Is it walking through the front door? Do you walk home? Do you ride home? Is it when you see your dog, when you see your kids for the first time? But it's got to be done repetitively for it to be effective. You have to repeat it over and over and over again and continually train yourself to be in that position, and therefore change the mindset around it so that you are favouring being home and thinking about being home and switching off. Now, granted, it's not going to help if you then go into the lounge room, open up your laptop and reply to 5 emails, or check your phone and respond to messages. So you've got to have some boundaries around those things as well. Otherwise, it will not be effective at all. But if you put those all together and you implement that same change over and over and over again, I guarantee you it will work. It will be a game changer for you. You know, one of the things that most people fail at when it comes to a successful health and fitness journey is managing sleep and stress. We tend to take it for granted. We accept stress because we believe it is what it is and it just comes with the job. And therefore, we just take on whatever sleep we can get because, quote unquote, we can sleep when we're dead. But you know what? Fuck that. Like, why should you have to deal with stress? Why can't you manage stress better? Why can't you be in a better headspace to manage stress and turn it off when you need to? And therefore, why can't you sleep better? Why shouldn't you get a solid night's sleep every single night without fail? Unless you're a shift worker or there's extreme circumstances, the average person should be getting a good night's sleep. It's going to deliver you a better source of energy each morning. It's going to enable your body to rest and recover every single night. You're going to lose weight if that's your goal. You're going to put on muscle, that's your goal. You're going to have heightened energy if that's your goal. You're going to have optimal health if that's your goal. Sleep is so integral, but we tend to take it for granted and we tend to sacrifice it because we're not looking at ourselves from a self-preservation point of view. We sacrifice those things because other things we believe are more important when they shouldn't be, okay? You can't be the best family person. You can't be the best parent. You can't be the best partner if you're not looking after yourself because something's going to give. Something's going to cave in. Something's going to be sacrificed, and it's generally your health. You're going to get lethargic. You're going to get weak. You're going to get tired. You're going to get sick all the time. Therefore, you cannot turn up for your family. So why shouldn't you be prioritising your health first to be the best version of yourself for your family, for your partner, for your kids, and have that available to them all the time? So you can see how this method, this switch, can be really, truly effective if implemented correctly. Turn on before you get into the gym. Make the gym your bitch. I've said this to a few people, clients of mine, because they've said, I'm lacking motivation and the training's just hard and it's boring. Man, turn it around. Like, you have the privilege, you have the opportunity, you have the amazing facilities available to you where you can turn up and train. I've seen what the other side look like. I've seen gyms in India where there's no concrete on the floor. The equipment's rusty. And they're turning up and they're loving it. Why shouldn't we? We should be grateful for what we do have, not what we don't have. So turning up and turning it on is something that you really need to take advantage of and embrace and buy into and get uncomfortable with. So what if it hurts? That's the point. It's meant to hurt. You're teaching your body to sustain more discomfort. You're teaching your body to sustain more pain. You're teaching your body to tolerate more stimulus. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to develop. It's going to adapt. It's going to get stronger. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get fitter. All because you're doing that. You're not going to do that if you can't sustain and get switched on. You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be exactly where you are or give up because it's too hard. And that's what a lot of people do. It's too hard. I'm lacking motivation. Bullshit, you are. You're lacking discipline. That's what you're lacking. Turn up to the gym. I turn up to the gym no matter what. Like this week, as a prime example, my gym sessions normally fall on a Friday, one of them throughout the week. I can't make it this Friday because my car is getting serviced and it's most likely going to be out of action all day. So I'm going to go on a day that I don't normally go. So I've made up that session. It's going to be hard. It's going to be early in the morning, but you know what? I don't care because it is important to me. It is one of my non-negotiables for the week. And when I walk through the front door of that gym, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to switch it on and I'm going to put in a solid session. Will it be my best session? Maybe, maybe not. Will it be still up there? Absolutely, because I'll make every effort to do so. But mentally, I will be prepared. Mentally, I'll be focused. Mentally, I will have already thought about it because I planned this out yesterday. So I've got 2 days in advance to get myself prepared for a session on a Tuesday when I don't normally train on a Tuesday. So I'll be mentally ready. I'll be physically ready. And it'll just be determining whether or not I can put in a good session in that moment. And that's all subjected to, the sleep the night before, my fueling system, a few other variables, stress, etc. So, but I will do my very best, that's for sure. So there's simple ways to make it happen. There really is, but it's a cop-out if you blame motivation, okay? It's a cop-out if you use excuses that you can't get to the gym. Time is not an excuse. Time is not an excuse, and that's a whole other podcast. But my point today was to talk about the switch because you have that power. You can flick that switch and turn it on, whether it's getting into a gym session and ripping in and tearing a new one, whether it's turning off after a heavy day at work and not taking that load home with you and burdening your family. You know, like I gave with the example of the 100-meter sprint, you know, or the Winter Olympians, they would have had to turn it on. You know, they don't have a second chance. They have to be ready. They have to have their game face on. They have to be mentally prepared. So they have to flick a switch. They can't be worried about what's going on around the world. They can't be worried about other family members. They can't be worried about what's being said on social media. They have to be highly focused. There's an entire nation depending on them to do well. So while that's an extreme example, doesn't mean it doesn't still apply to you as an individual. Your goals are just as important, okay? Doesn't matter if your goal is to win an Olympic gold medal or to lose 10 kilos. It doesn't matter. The ambition and the process is still the same. You got to work really fucking hard. It's as simple as that. So learn how to turn that switch on. And like I said before, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to be one day, oh, that's it, it'll work now. No, no, no. You've got to implement it over and over and over again. It has to become a habit of the way you think, not the way you act, but the way you think. And if you can do that, I'll tell you what, it's a game changer, because you will start to tear it up in the gym and people will start to notice. They'll notice the ferocity you're training with. They'll notice the intent. They'll notice that you're not slacking off anymore between sets and sitting on your phone or talking to people. You're getting into the gym and you're saving time. You're getting out within 45 minutes to an hour when prior it was an hour and a half. You're being more efficient, more effective. You're creating more time now. Therefore, your gym sessions are going to be better. It's going to build confidence. Like, imagine all these things that can come off the back of it simply by you flicking that switch. It's a pretty powerful example of what can be done and what the human mind is capable of doing. And I wanted to talk about that today because I've been thinking about it a lot. And when I do check-ins with clients and they tell me about, you know, not being able to turn off during the week because of work, and then therefore it's impacting their sleep, it's the first thing I go to. Try this. And a lot of them go, oh my God, it's a game changer. Yeah, I've done that and it worked really well. There you go. But it's got to be implemented over and over and over again. Is it going to work the first time? Probably not. Is it going to work the second time? Probably not. But if you keep instilling it and keep training yourself to be active once you've done it, and have that same symbol, that same methodology every single day, it's going to be incredibly effective and can really be a game changer to not only in the gym training instance to have a powerful session, but also to switch off at night and have that to be an effective way to get a better night's sleep, manage your stress, and therefore become a better worker, a better person, a better partner, etc. All right, let's wrap it up. So thank you once again. I hope that made sense. I'd love to hear your stories. If this correlates with you, if this relates to you, if this aligns with you, if you disagree with this, message me, let me know. I'd love to have a discussion about it. But if you're interested in my coaching services, please jump on paulsbodyengineering.com. Reach out via Instagram if the website doesn't make sense, or if you'd just like to ask a few more questions. But yeah, I've still got a couple of spots open for 2026. They are limited and they are closing fast. So if you are interested, please reach out and we can have a discussion. But for now, as I say to every client, every single day, have a great day.